Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to the third day of Cumberland at Home Summer Edition. For those of you that might just be joining us, my name is Mrs. Driggers and I teach first grade. Today, we are going to work on a math lesson and we're going to be focusing on number sense. Number sense is the understanding of what numbers are and how they relate to each other. I will be walking you through the lesson, no turns. Come with me and enjoy our math lesson together today. Before we begin our activity, no turns, let's review some of our numbers. When we work on number sense, we are strengthening and building our skills on understanding what numbers are and how they relate to each other. If you can see, I have a 50s chart. A 50s chart are the numbers 1 through 50. When you count numbers starting at 1 and you count up or count on to 50, these are called cardinal numbers. Cardinal numbers represent the number of size. Before we begin our activity, no turns, let's review our numbers. If you can see, this is a 50s chart. You can see the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, all the way up to the number 50. These numbers are called cardinal numbers. Cardinal numbers are the numbers that show the amount or quantity of a set. When we count our numbers in order. Today, you are going to focus on identifying numbers and work on identifying which number comes before and which number comes after. You might have heard when in school the saying, one less and one more. One less is the number that comes directly before the number. So for example, if I pick the number 4, 1 less than 4 is the number that comes directly before 4, which is 3. If I think about what number is 1 more than 4, I count on 1 more, and that is number 5. You will be identifying 1 less and 1 more. Let's begin. You will need your deck of cards from your learning kit. This game can be played with 2 players. If you do not have someone to play with, that's okay. I will show you how to play this game all by yourself. Let's begin by taking 2 cards and keep them face down. Okay, we don't want to see what the cards are just yet. Next, you want to divide the rest of the cards in your hand into 2 equal piles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Okay, so these 2 piles have the same number of cards in them. All right, if you're working with a partner, this pile would go to your partner and this pile would become yours. Okay, so once you have your pile, you are going to count 6 cards. So here's my pile. I'm going to count out 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The remaining cards are just going to sit over here to the side. Okay, I don't need them just yet. Then I'm going to take my 6 cards and I'm going to pick them up. All right? Very similar to our Tens Go Fish, we can order our cards from least to greatest, starting with 1, 2, I don't have 3 or a 4, 5, I have a 6, I don't have 7, 8, and I have a 9. All right? Now, the object of this game is that if you're working with a partner, you're not taking turns, okay? This is where we get to practice our number sense. Now, it's not a race and we don't want to lose the purpose of the activity. So if you're not taking turns, but you're trying to thoughtfully put down the number that comes one before or one after, one more or one less, you want to be thinking about the numbers and not be so focused on trying to beat your partner. But because Mrs. Driggers doesn't have a partner, I'm going to be able to walk you through this activity a little bit slower and a little more detailed. Okay, but the purpose of this is called no turns. So you're not meant to take you're not supposed to take turns. Okay, do not take turns. All right, so what you're going to do is from the cards in my hand, when these 2 cards get flipped over, there's 2 piles I can make, okay? I want to look in my hand whether or not I have any numbers that might be 1 more or 1 less than either 2 or a 1. So, when I look at my cards, I have a 1. 1 is 1 less than 2. Now, I have 6 cards in my hand. Once the cards are flipped over, you can look at the numbers on each of these piles and you want to think what number is 1 less or 1 more than either the 2 or the 1. Now here's the trick. You must always have 6 cards in your hand at one time. So if right away I know that I can take this ace and put it on top of the 2 because 1 is 1 less than 2, before I can move any of my other cards, I must take a card from my pile and put it in my hand. Okay, because I must always have 6 cards in my hand at one time. Then I can go ahead and put the 2 on top of the ace because 2, or I should say 1, 2 on top of the 1 because 2 is 1 more than 1. All right, so I'm going to keep going. Now, I don't have 6 cards in my hand, so I need to pick up a card from my pile. Now I'm looking at my numbers and 1 less than 1 would be 0, and I don't have 1 less than 1, but I do have 1 less than 2. I have an ace. So I would put my ace down and pick up another card from my pile and put it in my hand to make sure I always have 6 cards. Now, when I look at these 2 numbers, there's a 1 and a 1. I don't have any 0s and I don't have any 2s. So I'm kind of stuck. So what do? I take 1 card from my pile, flip it over, and 1 card from the partner's pile or the other pile that you're not using. Okay? So now we have a 5 and a 4. 1 less than 5 is 4. 1 more than 5 is 6. So when I look at my cards, I have 1 more. I have a 6. So I can put my 6 down, pick up a card to replace it. I have 1 more than 4 because I have 5. So I'll put down the 5 on top of that. Make sure that I pick up a card to replace it. All right, so now as I'm looking, I have 3, 6, 9, 10, 10, 10. All right, now 1 less than 6 is 5. If I go up here, if I put my finger on 6, 1 less than 6 is 5. It's the number that comes directly before the number 6. 1 more than 6 is 7. It's the number that comes directly after 6. So if I look in my hand, of all my cards in my hand, do I have 1 more or 1 less than 6? No, I do not, because I either need a 5, which I don't have, or I need a 7, which I don't have. All right, so then I look at this pile. This is 5. 5. 1 less than 5 is 4. 1 more than 5 is 6. So let me look at my cards. Do I have a 4 or a 6? Yes, I do. I have a 6. So I'm going to put the 6 on top of the 5. And now I'm going to replace that card that I put down. All right. Now, both piles have 6. So let's look. If I put my finger on 6, 6, 1 less is, that's right, 5. What's 1 more than 6? That's right, 7. So I'm looking in my cards. Do I have a 5 or a 7? No, I don't. So I need to take 1 card from my pile and put it on here. And I need to take 1 card from the partner pile and put it here. All right? So, again, I'm looking at my cards. What is 1 less than 6? 5. Very good. What is 1 more than 6? 7. Very good. I don't have a 5 or a 7, so I can't put anything on this pile. Remember, ace means 1. What is 1 less than 1? We don't have it on our chart, but it would be 0. It's nothing. 1 less than 1 is nothing. It's 0. 1 more is 2. I don't have a 2 or a 0. So I need to add 1 more from my pile and 1 from my partner's or the extra pile. All right, so now I have 3 and I have 5. All right, so if I look at 3, go to my 50 chart, 1 less is the number, if you count backwards, just 1 jump. The number that comes right before 3 is, very good, 2. 1 more than 3, jump up 1 spot. It's the number that comes directly after 4, or excuse me, after 3, which is 4. Do I have a 2 or a 4 in my hand? Yes, I do. So I'm going to take the 4 and I'm going to put it on top of the 3. All right, and now I don't have 6 cards in my hand. I only have 5. So I need to take a card from my pile and I need to put it in my hand. Now I'm going to go to this pile, 5. All right, so now at this point, my mental math should be getting a little bit faster. Okay, I'm thinking, okay, what's 1 less? What number comes right before number 5? That would be 4. Okay, and I can look at my hand. I don't have a 4. 1 more is 6. I don't have a 6. So I need to replace or add 2 new cards. All right, so now I have an 8 and a 5. All right, I look at my hand. I have 8, 9, 10. All right, so here I'm going to start at 8. 1 less, 7. 1 more, 9. Do I have a card in my hand that I can put on this pile? Yes, I do. So I can take my 9 and put it on top of the 8. Now before I can put my 10 on top of the 9, because we know that 10 is one more than 9, I need to pick up a card from my pile. Make sure I have 6 cards in my hand at all times. All right, so I'm still looking at this pile. 1 less than 8 is, or excuse me, 1 less than 9 is 8, and 1 more is 10. So I can put my 10 on the pile. Pick up my last card. I have 6 cards in my hand. I'm gonna look at this pile, it says 5. So again, I need to look at my, think about the numbers, think about the patterns. Okay, what is 1 less? What number comes right before number 5? Very good, it would be number 4. All right, now I don't have any more cards from my pile to pick from to keep 6 cards in my hand. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just see how far I can get with the cards in my hand. So I know that 1 less than 4 is 3. Now I either need an 11 or I need a 9. I don't have either 11 or a 9, so I can't I can't put any cards on this pile. 3, 1 less than 3 is 2. 1 more than 3 is 4. I don't have any more 4s in my hand either. All right, so at this point, the game would be finished because there's no more cards and no more cards in your pile to be able to keep the counting sequence going. So at this time, if you wanted to try again, you would just gather your cards up, gather the extra ones up, shuffle them a little bit, get them all mixed up a little. You can shuffle them like this. You can cut them in half and then try to push them in different places. Do that a couple times, like 3 maybe, just to try to mix them up in different ways. Sometimes you can shuffle them in between each other. All right, but you just want to try to mix them up, all right? And then you could start the game all over again. Once you get through one round of no turns, you can challenge yourself to see how fast you can order your numbers 1 less or 1 more than the numbers in the pile, on top of remembering to replace the cards that you put down to make sure you always have 6 cards in your hand. Okay, this would help as your skills of number sense begin to strengthen and you start to recognize the patterns of numbers and it becomes a little bit more automatic for you. You can move a little bit faster. So Mrs. Driggers is going to show you how you can time yourself, and as many rounds that you play, you could record how fast it takes you to get through your cards and see if, as you strengthen your number sense, if you can beat that time that you get. All right, so I'm looking here. I've put my numbers in least to greatest. 1, 2, 4, 8, 8, 9. All right, so I'm looking, I have a 7 and I have a 10. I notice that 8 is 1 more than 7. 9 is 1 less than 10. 9 is 1 more than 8. 8 is 1 less than 9. Now I'm either looking for a 10 or an 8 or a 7 or a 9, which I don't see in my hand. I have 2 1s, 2 2s, a 4, and a 5. All right, so I'm gonna 3 and 8. All right, so I know that 2 is 1 less than 3. 1 is 1 less than 2. Two is 1 more than 1. One is 1 less. 9 is 1 more than 8. 8 is 1 less than 9. Now I don't have any more cards to pull from, so I'm going to see how far I can get with the cards that are left in my hand. All right, so I know that 2 is 1 more than 1. And then I have 4. 5 is 1 more than 4. 6 is 1 more than 5. And then I would just be left with my 4. So as I would continue to practice getting into the rhythm of thinking about mental math, thinking about what number comes 1 before, 1 less, or 1 more, then on top of that, keeping in mind that every time I put a card down, I have to take a card from my pile. And what it's going to do is it's going to kind of stretch your brain a little bit, but you'll be amazed when you can kind of track and see how fast you improve each round with your number sense. It's going to start to become second nature for you to recognize, oh, 2 is 1 less than 3, 5 is 1 more than 4, and so on and so forth. So have some fun with this. I hope you guys enjoy this activity. Like I said, you can play with a partner, you can play by yourself, but your object and goal today is to practice building that number sense, that 1 more, 1 less, and recognizing the patterns and how these numbers kind of look for their relationships and the orders in which that they come in. Okay? Well, I will talk to you tomorrow, boys and girls, and I hope you have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.